The DC fandom has been pretty divided for the last few months now, ever since James Gunn and Peter Safran were announced to be taking over things. DC has been in a weird spot for years, as there are two sides to the fandom. One side of the fandom absolutely loves everything DC put out. They love Snyder, and they love literally anything DC wants to place into the cinemas. The other side is on the completely other side of the spectrum. They hate what DC is doing and think they are ruining their favorite superheroes. They think Snyder is a hack, and his directing style is abysmal. They also think all of the choices DC has made have completely ruined people's perception of the superhero genre. And honestly, both sides are kinda right. There are some good parts of DC, as sometimes the stories are pretty decent and the directing is okay. But on the other side of things, it's pretty drastic. They've made so many awful mistakes, they have ruined their superheroes forever. Superman was completely fumbled, and they absolutely destroyed Henry Cavill. And don't get us started on Batman vs. Superman. It seems like DC really didn't know where they were going and would complain that they were losing out to Marvel. They tried making their own universe as quickly as possible, rather than taking years like Marvel did to build up to the Avengers and so on. But I guess DC realized their mistakes and ended up hiring both James Gunn and Peter Safran to tidy things up for a new universe.
James's vision for the movie was to make sure that we did as much practically as we could. Obviously, there are visual effects in the movie. Of course, it's a superhero movie, but it was really a mandate to make sure that we got as much.
After The Flash comes out and most likely resets everything through their adaptation of the Flashpoint storyline, it looks like DC is going down a different path. And honestly, this sounds really good, but it split the fandom even further. Some people are really happy about the idea and love that they have brought such great directors like James Gunn and Peter Safran onto the team.
One of our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent.
However, the other side of the fandom absolutely despised this choice and thinks that James Gunn is a complete scumbag. But this is all it came to, right? There can't be anything worse than the fandom split. Or can there be? Just when you thought things couldn't get even more heated or divided amongst the DC fandom, a bunch of Snyderverse apologists on social media have been mounting legal action against James Gunn. Jesus, man, what is he doing now? We know that James Gunn has had a troubled past with social media, but surely it is nothing to sue him over, right? Well, it seems like these Snyderverse apologists are trying to get into legal action over the post-credit scene of Black Adam. There was a whole lot going on around the time when Black Adam was originally released. It was up in the air as to if Henry Cavill was going to come back as Superman, and people just wanted it to be confirmed either way.
There is such a bright future ahead for the character, and I'm so excited to tell a story with an enormously joyful Superman.
In the end, though, it seemed like Henry Cavill was back as he made a post on social media and even quit The Witcher to pursue it. He then appeared in the post-credit scene of Black Adam, and people went absolutely crazy online. Henry Cavill was back, or so it seemed. This is exactly why people are trying to sue Warner Brothers and James Gunn, as it seemed that there was false advertising for promising Henry Cavill coming back that never materialized. It's a really prosperous lawsuit, but has opened up a lot of thought-provoking arguments on social media. There's always going to be a huge vocal band of naysayers that don't get on board with the change in a franchise. But the farther they're going this deep is kind of crazy. They are annoyed that the Guardians of the Galaxy filmmaker isn't Zack Snyder, and that Snyder's vision won't come to fruition. But honestly, man, it's been so long since anyone's really cared about Snyder. He wasn't that great to begin with, and yeah, he wanted to do something people liked with DC, but in the end, they just didn't work. The Snyder Cut really wasn't that much better than the original film, and all of the choices going forward probably wouldn't have paid off. DC was in shambles, even with Snyder at the helm, and it's hard to deny that. The thing about Gunn now is that he is equally as controversial as Snyder in many of their eyes, as people are now accusing him of telling barefaced lies. Ironically though, when it comes to being one of the most open and aggressive honest creatives in Hollywood, James Gunn must be ranked near the top. He might have had some controversial moments in the past,
I mean, it's fun. It's fun to find a target and fun to let's get him fired, get her fired, take her off that movie. It's fun for them because as a, hashtag air quotes act.
But James Gunn knows exactly when to talk and whom to talk to. He's extremely vocal when things go wrong and will always talk to his fan base about what's happening. Just look at his social media over the last few months, goddammit. He's constantly been talking about DC's future and what people want. He replies to tweets about what characters people want to see. He knows what he's doing and is extremely open to any sort of criticism coming his way. After all, he openly blasted Warner Brothers and its regime due to its treatment of Cavill and many other actors. It's not like he's hiding from anything. He's putting everything forward. Because of all this misinformation coming out about the director, it's no surprise that he took to social media to dive into everything being thrown at his face. He made a tweet about what was going on. Hey, he said that for years it's been his commitment to the fans that he will never lie to them, and he said he never has. In fact, Gunn said he's very curious about what they think he's lied about. He's never lied to the fans and never will. And that doesn't mean he's ever going to change his mind about anything. The DC fandom is just kind of weird at this point. It's like they haven't lived a normal life. Even with all these reasonable explanations, it's like these people have never backtracked on any idea or changed their mind after saying they do something. Yes, it's fact that James Gunn said that Henry Cavill will be back as Superman and that Man of Steel 2 is in the works. However, things change, man, and James Gunn and Peter Safran had a lot of things to do. Originally, it probably was the plan to carry on with Henry Cavill, but with everything changing, it felt like they needed a fresh start. This is why James Gunn is telling his own Superman story and changing the DC universe going forward. James Gunn originally said he didn't want to tackle the Superman film or even an executive role within DC a few years back, but like we've already said, things change and his priorities have completely altered. He was given a great opportunity to change DC forever, as he has a huge passion for comic books. You can tell that he loves every character he writes about, from even the weirdest creature commandos to the upcoming Superman legacy. DC is in good hands, and it's annoying that it's still hard for these DC fanboys and Snyderverse apologists to see that. I guess we'll have to see though, as the DC Universe restart is still a few years off. Though things are getting changed in Flash, we probably won't be seeing Superman for a few years, let alone a casting. We hope that by then, the DC Universe fans can see that James Gunn and Peter Safran have given the DC Universe a better chance than Snyder ever could have.
One of James Gunn's secret strengths is his ability to take characters that people have never heard of and imbue them with personality and life and fun and backstories.
But honestly, we kind of doubt it at this point. They just hate for the point of it, don't they? What do you think about today's video? Let us know in the comments below. We hope you enjoyed it.